So today is Lord Nrsimha's appearance day. Lord Nrsimha is an incarnation of Krishna. Krishna mentioned in Bhagavad Gita that whenever there is a decline of religious principles and increase of irreligiosity, then he appears whenever that situation arises. Yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati bharata abhuthanam adharmasya tadatmanam shrijam. He says, Shrijamba, I manifest myself, I appear. In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna mentioned after that how he appears. He appears with the internal potency. The internal potency of Krishna makes all the arrangement. Krishna is unborn. Krishna can appear anytime, anywhere. Sometimes he takes birth, just as when he appeared as the son of Vasudeva and Devaki, he took birth as a human being. As he appeared as Ramchandra, he took birth as a human baby of Dasarath and Kaushalya. In this way, sometimes he takes birth, sometimes he just appears from nowhere. Like he appeared as Varahadev, he appeared from the nostril of Brahma. Just from the nose of Brahma, just one small little boar appeared, it started to grow and it assumed a gigantic form. And in this incarnation, the Lord appeared in a very wonderful way. He appeared from a pillar. And the Lord is omnipresent. He is present everywhere. Therefore, He can appear from anywhere. So, why did He appear? Dharma samsthapana, for the sake of establishing the religious principles. And paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya cha dushkritam, in order to protect the sadhus, the devotees, and in order to annihilate the miscreants. From time to time the miscreants appear. They cause a great trouble. In Satyuga at that time, there were not many miscreants, but the one or two miscreants that were there, they were very troublesome. There were only two miscreants, Hiranyakashipu and Hiranyaksha. Otherwise, the rest of the population were saintly people. But these two miscreants started to create so much disturbance that the Lord had to. At the beginning of creation, Brahma assigned the responsibility of filling the universe with progeny. So those personalities are known as Prajapatis. So one of the Prajapatis was Kashyapa. Kashyapa had many wives. One of his wives was Diti. And from Diti, two sons were born. And those two sons were Hiranyakashipu and Hiranyaksha. And they became demoniac. Their nature was demoniac. Soon after their birth, they started to grow. They grow so big that their heads practically touch the sky. They're very proud of their power, of their prowess. And they were very fond of fighting. Although born of a Brahmana, Kashyapa was a Brahmana, but they assumed the qualities of a warrior. In the scriptures, there are detailed descriptions why they were like that. The apparent reason was that they were conceived at a wrong time, at an inauspicious hour. They were conceived. That was one reason that they developed the demonic qualities. But there is another reason, the farther, deeper, more profound reason, and that is that there were two gatekeepers in Vaikuntha, the spiritual sky. These two gatekeepers, Joy and Vijay, they desired to give the Lord the opportunity to experience the mellow of chivalry. There are 7 secondary mellows. There are 5 principal mellows, and there are 7 secondary mellows. And one of the secondary mellows is called Veera Rasa, or the mellow of chivalry. This mellow is derived out of fighting. By fighting and smashing an opponent. Like when you see that the boxers are fighting, they derive joy out of that. Or warriors fighting in the battlefield. They're risking their lives, but they derive a joy out of that. And especially when they kill their enemy or defeat their enemy, that mellow is experienced. The mellow of chivalry or the mellow of heroism. Veera, heroes. Heroes experience their joy in this way, defeating the enemies. But in Vaikuntha, everyone is a devotee of the Lord. No one would ever think of fighting with the Lord. Like sometimes this mellow can be experienced just out of wrestling. The wrestlers fight and then they defeat the other wrestler and they derive the joy. In Vrindavan, Krishna experienced the joy by even fighting with his friends. Not that always this mellow have to be experienced out of animosity. It can be experienced even out of friendship. Like in Vrindavan, Krishna fights with his friends, cowherd boyfriends. The cowherd boyfriend challenges Krishna, come, today you wrestle with me, I'll defeat you, I'll smash you. Krishna, who do you think you are? And then in that fight, sometimes Krishna becomes defeated. The friend wins the battle. And now in a wrestling, although it's a friendly match, but there is a condition. The winner, the loser has to carry the winner on his back and make a few rounds around the wrestling area. And so the friend sometimes will tell Krishna that, Krishna, now you carry me on your back. Krishna said, look, why should I carry you? He said, look, the condition was that when I defeat you, then you have to carry me. Krishna says, you defeated me? Who says you defeated me? You didn't defeat me. He said, Krishna, look, I took so much trouble to defeat you, and now you're saying that all these boys are witness here. I defeated you. Then Krishna said, no, actually there was a banana peel, and I slipped there, and when I fell down, then you jumped on me and you claimed that you won. That's not. And in this way, Krishna would again fight with his, there was a mock fight between Krishna and his friend. And this is how different mellows are experienced by the Lord due to his loving exchange with the devotees. But in Vaikuntha, everyone is in the worshipful mood. In Vaikuntha, everyone knows that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And therefore everyone is worshipping in awe and reverence. And no one ever thinks of fighting with Krishna, wrestling with Krishna. But Joy and Vijay felt that our Lord is missing out on that mellow of chivalry. I wish we could allow him to experience that mellow. So the Lord was aware of it, he became aware of it because he is situated in everyone's heart. He is the omniscient. So it felt okay. So these two devotees of mine want to give me a taste of Milo of chivalry. So I'll fulfill their desires. And by the arrangement of Jogomaya, everything was arranged. And the arrangement was that these two very obedient, submissive devotees of the Lord, Joy and Vijay, were cursed by the four Kumaras, the four sons of Brahma, Sanaka, Sanatan, Sanandan, and Sanat Kumar, were generally known as four Kumars or Chatushwan. So they cursed this Joy and Vijay, that you all are not fit to be in the spiritual sky. Your mentality is like the mortal beings in the material nature, so I curse you, you fall down to the material nature. And as a result of that, they took birth as the two sons of Kashyapam and Diti. Because since they were the sons of Diti, they were known as Daitas. In the Sanskrit language, the sons gave the name often, or sons are identified according to the parents. Not only sons and daughters. Like for example, here, they were born as the sons of Diti, therefore they were known as Daitas. And some sons were born of Aditi, they are known as Adityas. Similarly, Sita Devi was born as the daughter of King Janak. Not born, she was brought up as the daughter of King Janak. She was the daughter of King Janak. Therefore, the name of Sita is Janaki. The Pandavas were the sons of Pandu, therefore they were known as Pandavas. They were the sons of Kunti, the mother was Kunti, therefore they were known as Kaunteyas. So in this way, in Sanskrit language, sometimes the children are identified by their parents' names. And so these two Daitas, Joy and Vijay, what did they desire? The Joy and Vijay became two Daitas, the demons known as Hiranyakashipu and Hiranyaksha. And what did they want to do? They wanted to give pleasure to the Lord out of fighting. Now before that, something interesting also happened. So as soon as they were cursed and these four Kumaras were upset with them, the Lord Narayan immediately came out to the gate where they were insulted, and he apologized on their behalf. And then he asked Joy and Vijay, so now you have been cursed. So you have to go to the earth planet. You have to go to the material nature, and you will have two options. You can have two options. If you want to remain as my devotees in the material nature, then you have to take 8 births. 8 times you have to take. But if you become my enemies, then you will have to take only 3 births. So the choice is yours. You decide what you want to do. So Joy and Vijay said, we don't want to stay in the material nature for too long. So we want to come back quickly. So we'd rather become your enemies. And as a result of that, in Satyuga, this Joy and Vijay was born as Hiranyakashipu and Hiranyaksha. In Treta Yuga, they were born as Ravan and Kumbhakarna, and in Dwapar Yuga, they were born as Shishupal and Dantavakra. And in this way, they all became very inimical. They became extremely inimical to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. By the arrangement of Yogamaya, although they were actually devotees and they wanted to serve the Lord, by the arrangement of Yogamaya, they ended up becoming devotees of the Lord, because they wanted to give the Lord the mellow of chivalry. And chivalry means they have to fight, and this fight is not a mock fight. This fight has to be a real fight. Therefore, they have to forget. They have to forget all their relationships with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. They have to forget about their softness, their submission they had, and the devotion they had, the love they had for the Lord, and they developed deep hatred. And so this Hiranyakashipu and Hiranyaksha became very powerful, and they were challenging anywhere, everywhere. They were challenging whoever they would come across. If the person was powerful, they would challenge them in a fight and defeat them and kill them. And by doing that, they would derive their pleasure. So, in this way, they defeated so many demigods and so many other creatures. And then finally, this Hiranyaksha, the younger brother, came to the capital of the king, of the lord of the water, the demigod who controls water. His name is Varuna. And he came to his capital, Vibhavari, which is in the lower region of the ocean. He is the lord of the ocean water. And he challenged Varun to a fight. Varun knew that he is no match for Hiranyaksha. He was so powerful. So he said, look, I am an old man and I am no match for you. You won't really derive so much pleasure out of defeating me. So why don't you find somebody who is equally powerful or maybe even more powerful than you are? Then Hiranyaksha asked, who is that who is more powerful and equal to me? He said, yes, there is one person who is undoubtedly he is as powerful as you are, and maybe he is even more powerful than you are. So who is that? He said, he is Hari. So Hiranyaksha said, Hari? So where can I find him? So Hiranyaksha said, Varuna said that if someone searches for him hard enough, then he comes across him. Then he finds him. So if you are fortunate, then yes, you will also find him. So Hiranyaksha then went out in search of Hari. And at that time, the Lord, assuming the form of a boar, as I mentioned earlier, in the boar form, he appeared from the nostril of Brahma, and he assumed a huge, gigantic form in order to rescue the earth. Now Hiranyaksha, the word Hiranyaksha means whose eyes is always looking for gold or searching for gold. Hiranya means gold, Aksha means eyes. So he is looking for gold everywhere. Wherever he finds gold, he accumulates that. So in this way, Hiranyaksha took away all the gold from the earth planet. And gold actually causes the balance or makes the earth to float in the space, in the orbit. So when all the gold was taken away, earth lost the balance and fell into the lower region. And therefore, Lord Varahadev appeared to rescue the earth. And Hiranyaksha saw that there is a huge boar is carrying the earth on his tusk. And seeing that, Hiranyaksha became very upset because it's because of him that the earth actually fell into the lower region. And now without his permission, this creature is taking the earth away from him. So he became very angry and challenged him. He wanted to attack him. And the Lord placed the earth on the orbit and he accepted the challenge of Hiranyaksha. And they fought for a long, long time. And the demigods, who were already worried about Hiranyaksha and completely disgusted with Hiranyaksha because of his atrocities. They were wishing that somebody would come and kill this guy. And when they saw that this fight was going on between this strange boar, huge gigantic boar, and this demon, they became very excited and they were watching from the space. And they were, when they saw that this boar was winning, they were exclaiming, "Jai, Jai!" Bash him up, kill him. And then sometimes when the Lord was losing, they became very worried. So at one time during that fight, the Hiranyaksha struck the mace of the Lord so hard that his mace slipped out of his hand and it just fell down, started to fall. And then the demigods, they could anticipate that this must be the Supreme Personality of God who is fighting that night. So, and they exclaimed that, "My Lord, please finish this demon. Due to anxiety, our life air practically has come to our throat. And it may leave at any moment and we all will die. So please, before that happens, you kill this guy." So at that time, the Lord, with his left hand, just slapped Hiranyaksha on his face. And Hiranyaksha went, really, mind you, this battle was taking place in the space. So Hiranyaksha's body just went really, and his life air left his body. The news reached Hiranyakashipu and the family members of Hiranyaksha that he is dead. So they all were lamenting naturally. Diti was crying, "Oh my son, why did you leave? And how can I live without you?" Hiranyakashipu pacified the family members. And he advised them. Actually, it's very interesting to see, although he's a demon, he has such wonderful, profound knowledge. He said that this life is temporary. No one comes here to live here forever. And after all, it was just the changing of body. He just changed his body. He is not going to die. He is eternal. So all this knowledge he imparted. But at the same time, his heart was burning with anger. That I have to take revenge. I have to take the revenge of my brother's killing of my brother. So I have to kill this enemy. Who killed him? Hari killed him. So, and he also considered that he knew that his brother was very, very powerful. And this Hari killed his brother. So that means he is more powerful than him. So he felt that in order to defeat Hari, he'll have to become immortal. If he becomes immortal, then he'll be able to kill Hari. So he left his family, went to the Mandar mountain, and he started to perform austerities. He performed such severe austerities, just standing on one leg, on the toe of his leg with his arms stretched upwards. He stopped moving, he stopped eating, he stopped drinking, just stood there. And he stood there for so long that the ants, the termites, came and started to eat his body and made an anthill around his body. And they made the anthill, and inside that they have an unlimited supply of food for them. So they started to eat up Hiranyakashipu's body. He ate up his skin, his fat, his muscles, his nerves. Then they ate up his intestine, they ate up his lungs, kidney, liver, gallbladder, and they ate up his heart, they ate up his brain. So it was just skeleton of Hiranyakashipu was standing, but he was such powerful personality that he preserved his spirit soul. His spirit soul was inside his bone marrow. Inside the bone there is marrow, and his soul was preserved there. Externally everything was eaten up. And the severe austerity of Hiranyakashipu caused so much heat that the demigods in heavenly planet started to feel that this heat was unbearable. So they were kind of burning due to that heat. So they approached Lord Brahma and appealed to him, please do something about this personality who is performing austerity and causing such heat out of his austerity. And so Brahma then came, and from his water pot he sprinkled some water on this body of Hiranyakashipu, and Hiranyakashipu's body was revived again. Got a beautiful, healthy body, and so strong that this body became invincible to even thunderbolt. So Hiranyakashipu, why are you performing such severe austerity? And Hiranyakashipu said that I want to be immortal. So Brahma said, look, I can't give you that boon of immortality, because I myself am not immortal. I live only for 100 years. And how can I make you immortal? But Hiranyakashipu thought that he'll outsmart Brahma. Brahma said, besides this boon for immortality, you can ask for any benediction, any boon. So Hiranyakashipu said, fine. Give me the boon that no man, no animal, no demigod, he mentioned all the creatures in existence, that none of them will be able to kill me. Brahma said, fine, that boon I can give you. Granted. Then Hiranyakashipu said, give me the boon that I won't be killed by any weapon. Brahma said, okay, granted. Then Hiranyakashipu said, give me the boon that I will not be killed on the land, on the water, or in the sky. Brahma said, fine. Then he said, give me the boon that I will not be killed during the day or at night. Brahma said, that also is granted. Then he said, give me the boon that I will not be killed inside the room or outside the room. He said, granted. So now Hiranyakashipu became almost immortal, because he won't be killed by anybody, he won't be killed by any weapon, he won't be killed in the sky or in the land or in water, he won't be killed during the day or night, he won't be killed inside the house, outside the house. So he became practically immortal. And he started his onslaughts, because he knew that Hari is the friend of the Brahmanas. Hari is the friend of those who perform sacrifices for his pleasure. So he started his attack on those people, those who are submissive to Hari, the devotees of Hari. He started to plunder them, and he defeated the demigods, took over the kingdom of heaven, and in this way he created a lot of disturbance in the universe. Now in the meantime, another wonderful thing happened. When Hiranyakashipu went to perform austerities on the mountain, at that time, taking advantage of Hiranyakashipu's absence, the demigods attacked his kingdom. And the demons, this Hiranyakashipu was the king of the demons. So in his absence, the demons, without any general, without anyone to guide them in the battle, they lost the battle. And then demigods, the devas, headed by Indra, found that Hiranyakashipu's wife, Kayati, was pregnant. So they decided to take her into captivity, and when the child would be born, they would kill the child, because it's the son of a demon. So they were dragging Kayathu, Hiranyakashipu's wife, as a captive to put her in prison. At that time Narad Muni appeared there, and Narad Muni told the demigods, why are you insulting and maltreating this lady? You should not do that. Ladies must be treated with respect and honor. Then Indra said, no, this is the wife of Hiranyakashipu and she is pregnant, and Hiranyakashipu's son is in her womb, and he is going to be another Hiranyakashipu, so we don't want to take any chance. As soon as the son will be born, we will kill him. Narada said, no, the child she is carrying in her womb is not a demon. It's a great devotee of the Lord. So let her go. You don't have to be worried about this child. Rather, you can rejoice that this child is going to be one of the greatest devotees of the Lord. So they let Kayathu go, and Narad Muni gave Kayathu shelter in his ashram. And since if the child was born when Hiranyakashipu was away, there could have been scandal, there could have been some undesirable scandal and talk. So Narad Muni gave her a benediction that she would give birth to the child only after her husband would return. So when Hiranyakashipu came back, Narad Muni sent Kayathu back to Hiranyakashipu. And then in due course of time the child was born, and this child was a great devotee. How he became a great devotee? Like when Kayathu was in the ashram of Narad Muni used to instruct her on the spiritual topic, about Krishna's past, Krishna's wonderful activities, Krishna's wonderful qualities, and he would instruct her on the advantage, the benefit of being submissive to Krishna, being a devotee of Krishna. Now Prahlad used to listen to those instructions of Narad Muni. See, although he was lying in the womb of his mother, he was listening. He used to listen. Actually, the child, although in the womb of the mother, can hear what the mother hears. He's tuned in to his mother's consciousness. And that is how, when Abhimanyu was in the womb of his mother, one day Subhadra wanted to know how to enter into Chakravyuha and how to come out of the Chakravyuha. And Arjuna was describing that to Subhadra. And at that time Abhimanyu was in the womb of his mother, and he heard from sitting in the womb, and that's how he knew how to enter into Chakravyuha. But then his mother fell asleep and he couldn't hear the other half, how to come out of the Chakravyuha. Because his consciousness was tuned into his mother's consciousness, when the mother fell asleep, he also fell asleep. And he couldn't hear. That's why Abhimanyu knew how to enter into Chakravyuha, but didn't know how to come out of Chakravyuha. So, similarly here, Prahlad, when he was in the womb of his mother, he received the instructions from Narada Muni, and right in the womb of his mother, he became a great devotee of the Lord. And then when he was 5 years old, he was sent to Guru's ashram. And who is the Guru? Prahlad's Guru was instructing spiritual master, was the son of Shukracharya, who is the Guru of the demons. Shukracharya's sons, Sanda, Shanda, and Amarka, were the two instructing, they were the two teachers of Prahlad. And in the ashram of that Shanda and Amarka, other children also were sent. Then other demons' children were also there. And there they used to learn all kinds of subject matters like politics, economics, philosophy, psychology, all those subjects were taught to them. Now Prahlad, he was not interested in those subjects. He used to just wait for the break. When there would be break, then he would assemble all his other friends and they would chant the glory of the Lord. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And as you raised your hands, they used to say, chant along with the Maha Mantra. And Chandra and Amartya saw one day that they are chanting and dancing, singing the glory of Hari, Hare Krishna. So they were completely upset. They called Prahlad, they asked the boy, where did you learn all this? And they pointed out, Prahlad taught us. So they took Prahlad to a closed room and asked him, tell us, where did you learn all this? And Prahlad said, this is the glorification of the Lord. It's going on since time immemorial. No one can teach me. You also, why don't you also do that? And so they were very afraid that Hiranyakashipu, if he gets to know that they're singing the glory of Hari, Krishna, then their life will be in danger. So they reported to Hiranyakashipu. And Hiranyakashipu asked, how maybe some demons, some demigods, according to him, they were demons. Some demigods are coming in disguise and they are vitiating, brainwashing my child. So now guard the place completely well so that no one can come in. And Prahlad was sent back to the ashram. And the guards were guarding the place day and night so that no demigod can ever enter there. But still Prahlad, whenever he would get some time, he would spend his time with his friends. But the teachers were very, very vigilant. They would not allow Prahlad to have any free time with his friends. So after some time, Prahlad went to his father, and his father asked Hiranyakashipu asked Prahlad, tell me, what did you learn? What's the most interesting topic that you learned? What is the most important teachings that you learned from the teachers? Prahlad said, I learned that Hari, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is the worshipable Lord of everyone. Hiranyakashipu became furious. He just threw that child from his lap. He said, where did you learn this? Who? And Prahlad started to reason with him. He is all cognizant, he is omnipresent, he is present everywhere. He is the Supreme Creator, he is the Supreme Maintainer. And he is maintaining everybody, he is even maintaining you. He said, no one maintains me. I maintain everybody. So your Hari is bogus. So, but Prahlad tried to pacify his father. And he said that he is our enemy. He is the enemy of our family. He killed your uncle. So I have to take revenge just to uphold the glory of our family line. Uphold our hereditary pride. So don't you ever glorify this enemy of our family. Hiranyakashipu was very upset. But when Prahlad wouldn't listen, even the teachers could not correct him. After sincere and wholehearted endeavor, they tried to make a demon out of Prahlad, but they failed. Then one day, when Hiranyakashipu was asking Prahlad just defiantly told him that Hari is the Supreme Supreme Personality. He is the Supreme Lord. Then Hiranyakashipu just ordered his bodyguards, kill this child. Although he was his own son, but he ordered his soldiers to kill him. But these soldiers who could even fight with the demigods, they were so powerful, fight with the demigods and defeat the demigods, they had such advanced weapons, but with all their weapons they could not do anything to him. They couldn't even make a scratch in his body. They couldn't even touch his body without it. Even before the weapon touched the body, the weapons broke into pieces and fell out of their hands. They were amazed. What's happening? What kind of power this boy has? And then Hiranyakashipu ordered them, put him into the pit of the venomous snakes. Let the snakes bite him to death. And these are not ordinary snakes, not ordinary cobras or even king cobras. They're celestial snakes with many, many heads. Gallons of poison in their venom. But they were biting Prahlad, but nothing happened to Prahlad. Only they asked, my Lord, our fangs are broken, our sacs of venom are empty, but nothing is happening to the child. I don't know what kind of power he has. Then Hiranyakashipu lit a fire with logs like that of a mountain and threw Prahlad in that fire. Nothing happened to Prahlad. Prahlad was thrown out from the top of a mountain. Nothing happened to him. Then finally Prahlad was thrown in the ocean, and he told all the demons to hurl big boulders to bury him under the ocean. And Prahlad was buried under the ocean under these boulders and mountain peaks. But soon Prahlad just pushed them aside with his hands. 5-year-old boy still pushed them aside as if they were made out of thermocoals. And he came out of that. Hiranyakashipu was completely bewildered. He asked him, where did you get this power? Where did you get this power? He was thinking that he performed such austerities to get the power that he got, and this little child, where did he get this power which is even more effective than his power? He could see that this child is immortal. So he asked, where did you get this power? He said, I got the power from the same source where you got your power. I got it from Hari. So Hiranyakashipu asked, where is your Hari? The Hari is everywhere. He asked, is your Hari in this pillar? He said, yes, he's in this pillar also. So immediately, roaring like a lion, Hiranyakashipu just went there with his fist. He struck the pillar. And the pillar just broke into pieces. So powerful. And then the pillar broke with a tumultuous sound. But this sound didn't stop, and then Hiranyakashipu noticed that the sound was actually coming from a strange creature that looked like a lion, and sometimes it looked like a man. His head was like that of a lion, and his body was like that of a man. And he immediately unsheathed his sword and attacked that creature. And they fought for a long, long time. And then, throughout the day they fought. There's somewhere it has been mentioned that Hiranyakashipu, Nrisinghadev, the half lion, half man form of the Lord appeared at noontime. So he appeared at noon, and from 12 o'clock till about 6 o'clock they fought. And it was an exciting fight. Everyone was awestruck seeing the fight. Sometimes it seemed that the lion is, that Lord Nrsimhadev was winning. Sometimes it seemed the demon was winning. They were just going back and forth. And then when the day was just about to turn into night, when it's neither day nor night, at the time of dusk, he grabbed Hiranyakashipu and he sat on the corridor, on the doorway of the room. It's neither inside the room nor outside. He had a good benediction that he would not be killed inside the house or outside the house. So he was neither inside nor outside. He sat on that doorway, and then he placed him on his lap, which is neither the land nor water nor sky. That was his lap. And with his nails, which is not a weapon, with his nail, he just tore open his body. And he pulled out his heart along with the intestine. And he wrapped the intestine around his neck as if he was wearing a garland. So, and this way he killed Hiranyakashipu. That's what he's saying. Tabo karo kamalo bari nakham adbhuta shringham. Your nails, it's a beautiful, your beautiful hand. Tabo karo kamalo, the lotus-like hand. And the nails of those lotus-like hands were so powerful, so fierce, that it tore open the body of Hiranyakashipu, just like the body of a wasp can be cut by a nail. The wasp's body, an insect's body, is so like a bee's body, or hornet's body is so soft that with a nail you can just pierce it. So Hiranyakashipu's body, which couldn't be even affected by thunderbolt, that body you just tore open with your nails as easily as if that was the body of a wasp. Nakham adbhuta shringham dalita Hiranyakashipu tanu bhringham keshavadhrita narahari Jai Jagadish. Keshava, Krishna, as you, that Narahari, the Nrsimhadev's form. So that happened on this particular day, today. He assumed the form half lion, half man, because Hiranyakashipu had the benediction that he won't be killed by any man or woman or an animal. So it was neither a man nor an animal. So in this, assuming this wonderful form, Adbhuta. So in this way the Lord performed his wonderful pastimes and killed this demon in Satyuga who appeared as Hiranyakashipu. So today is the day that happened. On this particular day, Nrsimha Chaturdashi, the 14th day of this month, of this lunar calculation, the Lord appeared. And there is another very beautiful incident in this respect which has been mentioned in H.Bhakti Vilas, that how come Prahlad Maharaj became such a great devotee? So it has been described there that in his previous life, Prahlad Maharaj one day went out on a picnic with his girlfriend. And they went to a place and they found a ruin. And they cleaned the ruin and they wanted to have the picnic. But at that time they both got into a very bitter fight, bitter argument. Both of them became so upset that both of them did not eat anything. I mean, he did not eat anything at least. He didn't eat anything. She also didn't. Anyway, he didn't eat anything. And he stayed up the whole night. He was so upset. Now that day happened to be Nrisingha Chaturdashi day. This particular day, the Nrisingha Chaturdashi, when Lord Nrisinghadev appeared. That ruin that he cleaned was actually an old temple of Nrisinghadev. By the divine arrangement, he just happened to be in a ruin of an old temple of Nrisinghadev. And he fasted that day. And he stayed up the whole night, and as a result of that, he received so much mercy of Nrisinghadev that in his next life he was born as a devotee of Lord Nrisinghadev. Thank you very much. All the glories. Satravikram Maharaj, will you say something?
I could just hold the name.
Okay.
Madhyanatvidandasya Janagasalakayam Chuksishtamachayam Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. So thank you for relating that nice pastime from Sringadev. How he was so ferocious. Of course, the follow-up is that he was so angry that he couldn't be calmed down after he killed Hiranyakashipu, and he was roaring and roaring, and the demigods were there, and they were concerned because he never stopped with his roaring, an angry mood, and they were afraid to approach. Even Rama was afraid to approach him, even Lakshmi was afraid to approach him, but then Rama thought, let us send Prahlad, because he became angry just to protect Prahlad, so when Prahlad comes forward, he'll certainly become pacified. So Prahlad was pushed forward, and he went in front of the Sringadev in an angry mood, and he went to offer a garland to the Lord. So when the Lord saw his devotee in that service attitude coming before him, then he did become peaceful. And he took Prahlad on his lap and blessed him and offered him any benediction that he wanted. But Prahlad said, actually, my Lord, on my own account, I don't have any lacking. I don't feel anything lacking that I need. Somehow or other, I have a little attraction for your holy name, for your service, and so I feel satisfied. But there is one thing, when I see that people in general are suffering so much, that if you could bless me that I could be empowered to benedict them. And he was thinking of his father, even, that my father was such a demon, but he was still thinking, I have compassion for him. And so Sringadev assured him that not only his father, but for how many generations, that they would all be, because such a pure devotee had come in their family, they would all be liberated. So they didn't have to worry about that. So interesting that Prahlad was so pure that he had no personal motive. Nirapeksha means one who has no personal agenda. In the world we live in here, everyone is putting themselves in the center, and so they're always in anxiety. What will be my position? What will be my advantage? Everyone is thinking, what is my advantage? But the devotee, he has no such concern. We saw in Srila Prabhupada that for his own position, he didn't have any anxiety, he didn't care. Only anxiety was when he saw so many people were suffering because of lack of Krishna consciousness. And so he very kindly took it on himself, on the order of his spiritual master, to come to deliver us from this cycle of birth and death that everyone is obliged to accept. No one can avoid the sufferings of this material world, suffering from other living entities, suffering from our mind and body, suffering from the nature. So the devotee has compassion. He doesn't like to see us suffering. He's even more compassionate in some sense than the Lord himself. Because the Lord is more neutral. He remains in our heart, but it doesn't interfere. If we want to do all nonsense, he gives us facility. All right, you can do nonsense. Sanction is there. You insist. But the devotee will even take the risk of checking our natural propensities, practically forcing us, we saw with Srila Prabhupada, practically forcing us to give up our nonsense and surrender to the Lord. And therefore we say he's even more kind than we. Nitai Gaura Nataraja ki, Shri Sringadev ki.